Welcome to the Rewards Master. Today I want to talk to you about 6 reasons why everything might change once you get a premium travel credit card. It seems like everybody wants to elevate up to one of these premium travel credit cards and get lounge access or maybe airline or hotel status and all the perks that come with it. But it's not all everything that it seems. It's not all roses. Sometimes there's downsides. So we're going to look at 6 reasons why everything might change. If you would, hit the like and subscribe button and let's walk through them together. Premium cards. I mean, they are kind of the top level of the credit card hobby. You've got things like the American Express Platinum and the Business Platinum, and they give the best lounge access out there. They also give great benefits like hotel status at a couple different hotel chains, and you can stay in the fine hotels and resorts. I mean, it really is advertised as a card that can elevate your lifestyle, and it kind of delivers on that promise depending on how it's used. Then you got things like the Venture X card, which is kind of more of an entry level into this space at only $395. And it gives things like lounge access at all sorts of lounges, including Capital One and also Priority Pass lounges. It also gives you a really good earning rate. And so people think this is a fantastic card, so they want to get it. Then you have things like the Chase Sapphire Reserve. That card is now $795 a year, but promises well over $2,000 back. It gives lounge access. It has access to these great hotels through the Edit collection that seem like just a lifestyle upgrade. I mean, that card is truly a premium travel card. And then you've got hotel and airline cards. Things like the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card by American Express gives an $85K free night certificate once a year with the card. And you can stay in some Ritz-Carltons, especially if you top it off. You can stay in some great places with that. Likewise, the Hilton Aspire. You get diamond status with Hilton. That gives you upgrades, and it gives you, potentially at least, it gives you different lounge access at some of their properties. You also get a free night certificate that can be used at any hotel in the world, even the Maldives. And you get a clear credit. I mean, it gives all sorts of stuff. So those are just a few examples. You can also add in airline cards with the Delta Reserve. You can potentially get better status, or the United Club card and access to their lounges. The American Airlines Executive card. I mean, there's all of these different premium cards. They all come at a price. In fact, the cheapest one on that list was $395 a year for the Venture X, and the highest is $795, and the American Express Platinum is rumored to be going to $895. So these cards aren't free. They come at a cost. So is it worth it? Well, sometimes it is. I have some of these cards. I've really had almost all of them on this list, except for the Brilliant card. And I can tell you that all of them, in a way, were worth it, and in a way, they weren't. So you have to evaluate that yourself. But there are 6 things that I've observed that kind of change about your lifestyle when you get one of these cards, or especially if you get multiple of these cards. So let's walk through them. First of all, your spending habits change. So these cards are all going to have different multipliers, and sometimes they give bonuses or extras if you spend in certain categories. What I mean by that, or if you spend a certain amount at least. So like, for instance, the Hilton Aspire. If you spend enough on the card every year, they're going to give you another free night certificate. So that could motivate somebody. Oh, I love staying in those $1,200 a night, beachfront type of places with your own individual pool in your room, which some of those rooms have. So I want to get that free night certificate. So you might throw all of your spending on that card just to get that. And that changes all of your habits. So you also have situations where they're going to offer elevated multipliers. So you're going to spend in those categories. And if you're not careful, you can spend more than you've budgeted in those categories. So I think that's the first one that's really evident, is it changes the way you think about your spending, which isn't always bad, but it is something to consider because it will change it all. because you got to think about getting value out of this card that you've made a big, big investment in, if you can call it an investment. Then you have the second thing, and that is that your credit card now consumes more of your thought. I mean, you got to put more mental energy into it. Now, with one of these premium cards, because you're putting a lot of money into this card, you're thinking all the time about getting money back from the card. So you're thinking about the credits, and you're thinking about the status, and you're thinking about what you need to spend to meet those spend thresholds to get the extras and all of the above. And so it really impacts your thoughts. You have to put more mental energy into a more expensive card. And that has to be considered because, I mean, how much mental energy do we have to go around? How much do we want to focus on one thing rather than giving up simplicity? And with these cards, you do give up a degree of simplicity. The third thing I've noticed is that you now have elevated expectations for your travel. Once you start going into lounges, man, there's hardly any going back. I mean, I've been traveling a lot over many years and have had lounge access either through airlines or through these premier credit cards like Capital One, American Express, things like that. And now when I travel, I just kind of want to go into a lounge. I kind of anticipate free food, free drinks, having a relaxing place to sit. And if it doesn't work out to get into one, man, it's like irritating to me. But before, I didn't think anything of it. If I had a 2-hour layover, I sat there at the gate in those uncomfortable chairs, and I was perfectly satisfied because I didn't know what I was missing. And also, when I went to hotels before, I wasn't upset if they didn't give me an upgrade because I never even thought about an upgrade. But now my expectations have changed. And it kind of, I don't know if it does all the time, but if you're not careful, it can kind of trap you into that circumstance because now your expectations are high and you're just not willing to go backward and not have that perk anymore. And I think that probably is part of their strategy. So that's definitely something to consider before you dive into this premium credit card world. The fourth thing is that you will, if you have one of these cards, have moments of stress, unless you're a person who just doesn't care. I mean, if you have so much money and you spend so much that you don't, if I get the money back, great. If I don't, that's fine too. And I think in some ways these cards they're designed for those kind of people, and the credit card companies love those people. They don't love the maximizers. They love the people who just don't care, just have the card. If I get the credits back, great. If I don't, great. I don't care. I'll just pay the fee. And so if you're not that kind of person, you are going to experience another degree of stress with these cards because you're going to get close to a credit expiring or not being able to get it. And you're going to be like, oh, it's the end of the month. I got to go get my credit. I got to buy something from Grubhub or whatever it may be. Or the 6 months is expiring. I got to use it at a Resi restaurant or whatever it may be. And that is something that doesn't come with the less expensive cards that don't give all the perks. You just spend and get your points and burn your points, use them, and you're good. But with this, I mean, there are moments. Now, I won't say they're all stressful all the time. I'm not trying to indicate that. But I'm saying that is a reality with these cards, is sometimes you do have a higher degree of stress. The fifth thing that I've noticed is that when you have these cards, sometimes you can think that you're getting greater value than you actually are. You can think, I've got the greatest card in my wallet. It gives so much value, but you can't just look at what it potentially can give. You've got to look at what you actually get from it. And I think sometimes folks, if they're not very disciplined about tracking all of that, keeping it on spreadsheets and so forth and so on, which is a lot of work, if they don't do that, they can actually believe they're getting much more than they actually are. So I think that's definitely something that has to be considered. And you have to ask yourself the question, am I willing to look at this honestly and to track it all? Because if you're not, then these cards, I mean, you can deceive yourself about it if you're not careful, that I'm doing better than I actually am. And they design them that way. They design them that way. And the last thing is just kind of a social construct, and that is that you sometimes think with these cards that you're getting some kind of elevated social status with people around you, because when you throw that Amex Platinum, or you throw that, in my case, the City Prestige is a black card. When I throw that on the table, people are going to look at that and say, oh, look at that. He's got a top level card. Here's just the truth of it though. Just doesn't happen. I have been complimented on a credit card once in the last year. And you know what it was? It was that Hawaiian Airlines card, because it's got that cool picture of the beach and stuff on it. And it's just a cheap little plastic card. I think it has a $95 or $99 annual fee. And that's the only card. And I mean, we're talking, I've thrown gold cards and platinum cards, and I use my black card all the time with my prestige card. And, you know, people don't even pay attention. They just swipe it. And then people just don't know, who aren't in this game. Now, if you're hanging out with diehard points and miles people, they might say, oh, do you like that card? Or, oh, that's a nice card. But how many people are that way? So I think sometimes when people want these cards for status, that is something that will sorely disappoint them, because nobody knows, nobody really cares, except there are very, 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 very small community of people. So that, I think, is something that has to be considered. To everybody else in the world, it's just a credit card, just like the one that your neighbor has from their local credit union that says Visa on it. It's just a credit card to everybody else. So that's my list of the 6 things that I think really change. And it's probably not a comprehensive list. There could be more things that could be added. Put those down in the comments below. And if you see any of those, and if I missed something, or if you disagree with those, I'd love to hear what you think about it. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I have channel memberships, $2.99 a month, cancel anytime. We have a Discord channel. You can ask me questions. We can dialogue. And also I have members only videos I put out from time to time. So check that out. And please hit the like and subscribe button. We will see you here next time.